today.
Okay, we're gonna start our meeting tonight. First of all, thank you all so much for coming. We're glad to see people at our meetings. We get no one most times. So we do appreciate, we want to hear your comments, thoughts, ideas constructively. And just a couple of things to take care of administratively. So this meeting, like all town meetings, will be on YouTube. So you can view it afterwards, or you can tell your friends to view it afterwards so that they can see the full meeting. We do have minutes being taken by Tiff here. Those are written up and they'll be on the town website if you ever want to see them. Once, and we do review it at our next meeting, which will be in November. Any corrections are made then. And for tonight, just in case there's a lot of different topics, and just to rest assure people, we will, Greg, one of our commissioners, is going to just write down topics that people bring up. Not a lot of detail. We just want to go back and make sure we address, concerns or comments or whatever. Okay. We have a sign up for people to speak. However, we'll ask those people that signed up first to speak, then I'll open it to the floor. And then we'll open it to anyone that might have joined us on Zoom. Okay. 3-minute limitation. That's a normal town thing for your comments. Our role here tonight during any audience of citizens is to listen to your comments. So you won't hear us react unless there's something factual that we just want to correct that might be said, by you, the residents, or clarify, maybe we don't understand necessarily, what you're saying. So we listen. We do have our meeting following audience of citizens. Quite frankly, I think we'll digest what's been said, and we'll probably be talking more about these topics as we go forward. You're always welcome to stay for our entire meeting. But we do have another, main agenda, and as new topics come up, we'll discuss those. There may be some discussion, but again, if you leave, you'll see it on YouTube. So, and again, I talked about, the only thing we'll do is clarify or try to clarify what you're saying or any factual information. And then because many of you don't know us, I'm going to ask everybody that's sitting up here, both commission and staff, to introduce themselves. And because we don't get nameplates, only those elected get named. We are a recommending commission. That's what commissions do in Berlin. They recommend we report to the town council. Okay. All right. That being said, I'm Donna Bove. I'm chairperson of Parks and Rec Commission. Been in that position for many years and previously served on the commission. So I'll turn it down to my left.
Sure, Don Bellacola, I'm the vice chair. Been involved with Park and Recs for almost close to 20 some odd years.
Lucas Van Zant, new guy, Skyview Drive. Nice to have you all.
Bodie Petrimus, I think 3 years on Parks and Rec. I'm Greg Starr. I've been on at least for one period, I guess. I'm also involved in youth sports, youth soccer, and I'm happy being part of this mission and happy to listen to your comments.
I'm Jen Ochoa, Director of Community Recreation and Park Services, and I'm the staff liaison for the commission.
Steve Wood, Parks and Grounds.
Debbie Dennis, Superintendent of Recreation.
Tiffany Bernard, Secretary. And Joe, are you on?
Ellie?
Oh, no, Allie.
And Joe, our other commissioner, might be joining us on Zoom later in the meeting.
Right, and we have Allie LaRoche, who's also on the staff from home right now. No, it's.
Thought I would see what all the people are gonna say about the pool.
She's standing me. Is that Joe? Okay, with that, we will open up audience of citizens, and the first person is Faye Gordon.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm glad to be here.
What is it? No, you don't have to sign. I'm gonna call people that signed up. Yeah, I'm only gonna call people first that signed up, and then we'll open it up to the floor, and then open it up to Zoom if people have something. Okay.
So again, good evening. I'm Faye Gordon.
Can I just, I'm sorry, state your name and address for the record.
87 Madawaska Street. I've been a resident, for 9 years, going on 10. And, my concern or, focuses on the East Berlin, swimming pool. I have truly enjoyed it, and each year there's another significant change. Nor do I have young children now, but I know that the small pool went away, so that took some families away. And then it came down to this year, I think even last year, but I had to travel over to the main pool in Percival. So where I live, it was definitely more convenient. I enjoyed the staff, the hours. I use it for exercise. I'm a teacher of high school students, special education. It's nice for me to be able to relax, and it's very therapeutic for me. So I go there to do my labs. I've also met other residents from East Berlin and Berlin. And I'd like to see it come back, and I'm willing to also help with staffing, because I do work with teenagers. And I'm a correct employee, so my students come from all the towns. I have students that come from Berlin, to do, some type of marketing and get, the staffing. And also I would like it to be extended 1 extra week, because I noticed the last few, summers with climate change, when it's time to close, we're still getting the heat. And it's just a nice recreational, focus, I think, for East Berlin, as well as if the Berlin residents have to come here, they can choose to have the option. And that's my concern and interest.
Thank you. Karen, I'm Hagenmaster.
Himself.
Okay.
So I'm Karen himself with like me. I have some handouts for you guys.
Can I just, real quick, anyone who's speaking at audience of citizens, if you don't mind, can you actually get up and stand by the computer? Because that is our only microphone tonight. That would be hugely helpful. Okay, you're fine.
All right, sounds good. So I'm Karen himself. My address is 3 Watch Hill. I'm here to advocate for 2 town improvement projects. The first one is the addition of a splash pad, so our youngest residents can have more fun in town and a way to beat the summer heat. I've compiled a list of the surrounding towns and their splash pads and their pool counts. You'll see that we have way less to offer families in the majority of towns around us. That includes Rocky Hill, Weathersfield, Newington, and Southington. With the pool at Harvard School likely closing, I'd like to advocate for funds to be allotted to a splash pool, a splash pad. If financing is a challenge, I'd like the town to look at pursuing grants or engage in other community outreach to problem solve. I've spoken to a lot of moms in town, and we're getting a little bit frustrated that we need to go to other towns for like services. At times, we'll go to a splash pad and then we'll go and get, say, coffee or ice cream, and we're not coming back to pralines in town or any of like the coffee places, because it's just not convenient when you have a toddler. So I'd really like to advocate for us looking at that. The second thing that I'm passionate about is updating little people's playgrounds. As a lifetime resident, I know some of that equipment is like 40 years old, because I remember going
Little
on.
People's Playground is, I know that they asked the mayor to
Excuse me, can we ask somebody to mute your phone that's on Zoom?
No, he's responding to this, I think. I don't know who it was. Go ahead.
So, it's ideal for us to have safer and more engaging equipment for our students, for our children. I met with other parents in town. We're feeling a little frustrated that like our playgrounds aren't up to par when you consider other neighboring towns. In the documentation that I gave you some suggestions. I had 2 meetings with other families to take a look at, what we were looking for, and people had some great suggestions about like other playgrounds in the area that we love. And I put visuals in there too, so you can kind of see what we're looking for. We'd be willing to meet with any of you and bring our children to these playgrounds. So you can see the joy that they have and the experience when they're looking at using, say, expression swings or like those zip line swings or like rock climbing. A suggestion I had is we want to be more collaborative. I know the library is going through a project where they're looking at improvements and they're actually sending out a survey to all residents. So people can jump online or fill it out, you know, by hand and get some feedback, because I think us having a partnership with everybody to see what are our priorities, what are our financial limitations, you know, is vital with this. And I know all this comes at a cost, and certainly, you know, I know the town doesn't have an unlimited amount of funds and whatnot, but I think if we prioritize and really work together with like grant funding and kind of like looking at things, we can make sure that Berlin doesn't, you know, fall behind the other neighboring towns. So again, thank you very much for your consideration. You know, I look forward to seeing what we're able to do for our families and our youngest citizens.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, it's great.
Carol Courtney.
Carol Courtney, 51 Sterling Drive. I'm here on behalf of the Kensington Garden Club. We too would like to do something with Little People's Park. We have brought Ted Johnson here. He has made a proposal of shrubs, perennials that we can beautify. I have taken my kids there. Now it's my grandnephew's kids, and never it's changed. And you go to so many other parks, like she said, and it's really welcoming. And if there's, you know, we have a simple proposal, but we need to know, is it town doing anything? Is there any changes? What can we do to help the town? Just like we did volunteer park right by CBS. You know, and that, right, isn't that beautiful to go by? We look at, you know, too, we're also looking that we have pollinators, you know, but yet people can come by and they're not bitten by mosquitoes and bees. So we, you know, we try to address everything, but that's our concern. And we do have a small presentation if later you want to see it.
Thanks,
Thank
Carol.
you.
Welcome.
Okay, is it
Danielle?
Danielle? Danielle, sorry.
That's okay. My name is Danielle Morrissey Corsetti. I live at 75 Cottage Street in East Berlin, and I wanted to speak in strong support of keeping the pool open. My kids grew up there, tennis lessons, the little kids pool. We would spend the whole day there, all day. Now my kids are teenagers. I work full time. When it was open, they would ride their bikes over there. They were old enough to pass the rules and be able to go on their own with their friends. This summer they had nothing to do. They can't drive across the turnpike to get to Percival, ride their bikes across the turnpike, and I'm working, so I can't get them there. It's a huge community builder. My 16-year-old met my 15-year-old met his very best friend to this day at the pool before they started kindergarten together at Hubbard. It's I think particularly important for this side of town. You know, Hubbard has a larger free and reduced lunch population than the other sides of town, the other schools. There are not as many private pools on this side of town. If my kids can't cool off in that pool, they have a hose and that's it. So I think there's, I guess they could climb in the Mattabesset River, but I don't know about that. So I think there's real value for this side of town to have that kind of support. And I would love to collaborate, to market, to brainstorm. I think there's a huge amount of energy on this side of town to work together to support that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'll get up now.
Go ahead.
I wrote some points down. Robin Kopp, 65 Division Street, East Berlin, Connecticut. I'm here to talk about the East Berlin swimming pool. I was kind of the mascot down there when I was little. Do I have to?
No, you're
That's
fine,
good.
right? You're fine.
Okay, I was kind of the mascot when the pool had opened and we had older lifeguards down there. I was there from 5 years old, where I learned how to swim at swimming lessons there, to all the way until I graduated high school. I did grow up next to the pool. We owned a duplex right next to the pool. And my feeling about the pool is
as I've gotten older, and I agree with the woman who spoke before me, it has given so many kids in this East Berlin area the ability to go to and from the pool without parents when they were of age to be safe. It has actually given so many kids the opportunity. I don't even think we do swimming lessons there anymore, right?
No.
I haven't been there, but swimming lessons used to be a big thing where the actual parking lot was full for swimming lessons. And as far as the pool on East Berlin, and I will agree, growing up, there's really nothing else to do in East Berlin besides the pool and the tennis court. The other thing that I would bring to mind, I know that staffing has been an issue. I know that marketing has been an issue. When I was at Hubbard, we used to take field trips for a week down to the pool. That is one way to inclusively bring families into the pool for enrollment. Fifth graders would get a week where they would go down with their teachers. They would have so much time to swim. They would go back up to the school. Fourth graders, I think, got 3 days, and I think maybe third graders got 1 time. So I'm a big pusher for the pool. I know that we have maintenance issues, but anything else that would go there would probably cost equal or more to what it's going to take for, I don't know if it's $200,000, I heard, whatever it is, to maintain it. And I certainly would help with marketing and increasing enrollment.
Okay, is there anyone else here physically that would like to speak during audience citizens? If you would just, if you could stand by the computer, just like Robin did, and then just state your name and address.
Samantha Sullivan, 18 Garden Drive. I've spoken a bunch of times, so I'm sorry. I'm just very passionate about Berlin. I don't want anyone to think I'm like ever being mean. I'm so passionate about. I feel like the pool is kind of off the table, so it makes me sad to kind of hear these, but I think the pool would be great. If it could be fixed, that's great. But if it's at the risk of having it break in a few years, unless it's like a total revamp and it's like, okay, the pool is going to last another 20 years. I'm not sure how long pools last, but they last a while, I imagine, right? We've had this pool for a while. Then it's like, is it really worth that money? Can the money be put towards something that will last that long? That the kids, it seems like there's a great need. I don't live in East Berlin, so I can't speak for East Berlin. I live in Kensington and we still have nothing to do. So, you know, I live with some teenagers and younger kids. So I kind of been going around and asking the kids, like, what would you want? Like, what would you actually want? And I spoke before at the last meeting about the most at-risk kids who are like kind of like in middle school, because in middle school you can kind of go, you know, like that's where you kind of join the cliquey kids that you're going to be with for the rest of your high school years. I keep hearing skate park, parkour, which is more of the business end, which would be something to discuss with the economic developer perhaps, but mostly skate park, biking clubs. This is from the boys. The girls want like more of a drama and more arts. Did I hear? I was talking to an older woman at the Berlin Fair, and she said that the Worthington Ridge Park used to be like a rec center that used to have arts and crafts and so many fun things. And she was like, just going on. And I'm like, how amazing would that be if that was a thing again? So even if the pool can't be saved, and I am so sorry if it isn't, because how great if you live and you could just go down the street to a pool. That would be amazing. So if that's a thing and it's a long-term thing, do it. But if it's not, then yeah, look into splash pad skate parks. I think skate parks would actually, you could do events there, like we need an area for concerts. Why don't we do more concerts at like Sage Park, adult field trips, fundraisers? I will help you. I would love to work with the town so much. City scavenger hunts, like I know we have that town one, but something that like gets money, like you donate some money, there's a prize, there's people that like offer the businesses, you know, they give some money and they, you know, it's a big thing. It could be good for them, good for the town, just so many things. I have a lot of ideas, but just be careful with the money that's spent. Also, I would love like to know why Berlin is so like broke. I grew up.
I'm sorry, it's going what?
I grew up in New Britain, and to me, Berlin was like Berlin, and I just feel like why is it that like we can't have the splash pads and working pools and the programs and the why? I'm just curious. I would really love like a breakdown of that one day, but Anyway, so to just pool, if it could be worked, pool / splash pad. What if you make this pool a little, I mean, that's a big idea. That's like a big money idea, but more fundraising and more grants. And I know that you have a good grant writer, but maybe like they can ask other people, or there's you write grants, like there's like other resources. So we have to look in different directions because
Thank you.
we need stuff. I know.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Did you want to speak, sir? Wanna go? Go ahead.
Come on up.
Can you just tell us your name and address?
Hudson. Maximuk. 28 Glenbrook Road.
Say what you wanna say.
Go
Don't
ahead.
listen to your mom.
I like a sorted kind of like firefighter, like going down a thingy, the pole thing. But on the Jap, it needs to be like a kind of big sand pit, so the impact isn't that bad. And along the slides, because usually in my school it's just like piston. So wait, that'd be English. But still bigger slides and that's it.
So we were talking on the way here and I said, Hudson, do you like going to the parks in our town? And he was like, what'd you say?
I want more firefighter.
He wants more things. He's like, for a fireman pole is what he's talking about. So when he slides down and you fall, you hit sand so you don't hurt yourself. We go to other parks in other towns and they're really fun.
And the splash pad thing that you could, if they did want to build, they could be like a little like firefighter thing that just ends in a little kind of pool.
Yeah,
thing.
do that for the splash pad. So he's all for upgrading our parks. Say, please upgrade our park.
Thank you.
Good job. Thank you. Let's go. Can we get your name?
Oh,
Just so-
yeah.
The mom's name.
That's just
Awesome.
that's just my name. I don't know.
No, just give her, just speak your name,
Oh, Crystal
last name.
Van Word.
Yeah.
Got it?
You got the address?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, you did a wonderful job. Do you want to run for mayor? Okay, anyone else that would like to speak, please? Just again, state your name and address.
Sure. Hi, my name is Amy Belko. I live at 7 Redwood Lane. I have a tough act to follow here, but born and raised in Berlin. I was a Hubbard kid. My kids are Hubbard kids. And someone mentioned earlier that way back when kids in Hubbard in 4th and 5th grade at the end of the school year got to go down to the pool. I feel like this pool, actually the whole Parks and Rec department has been on autopilot. When I was a kid, there was Parks and Rec, a whole program in the Grove, which is the kind of sorry excuse we have for a park. Over here in East Berlin, it has a slide, 4 swings, and probably a really unsafe slide, and monkey bars. And that's what our kids have to play with. But I hear the consistent theme of kids. A pool is something that everybody in town, no matter what their age is, can benefit from. So we focus on the kids, and yes, it's a huge benefit for them. And as a parent of an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old, my kids are soon not going to be going to summer camps. Do I want them crossing Route 372 or the Berlin Turnpike to get to Percival? No, it's not safe. And we're putting them in that circumstance, in that situation. We also have an elderly population who may use that pool as a social aspect. And now that's been taken away from them. What if they're not comfortable driving? The pool is something that I think has been neglected for a very long time. I think the whole pool program has been put on autopilot. And when it was announced in the spring that the pool wasn't opening, I was told it was because of staffing issues. I don't understand that at all because there's 10 months to find staffing for that pool. I was told it was a management issue, that there was no managers that applied, and we only hire managers from within, or supervisors. I'm sorry. So I think we have to look at a lot of different things. Why is the pool in disrepair? If we've known it's been in disrepair, why has nothing been advertised or promoted from the town for this pool? For this side of town, there's nothing for the kids. There's now nothing for older people to do. And I really hope it's seriously considered to keep this part of East Berlin going and to invest what needs to be invested. We all pay our taxes. They should go towards something we can all use.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Anyone else for audiences? Yes, please. Yep.
Hi, my name's Kylie Stiefel. I live at 103 South Slope Drive over in Kensington. This is my first time going to a meeting. And I know Karen talked a little bit about like Little Peoples and stuff, so that's kind of why I'm here. Because we've been talking about it and just upgrading. And I think I just speak for a lot of the moms is like, we're just looking for something different that we don't have in our backyards. A lot of us have little playgrounds. I know I do for my kids. We have swings, we have a slide, we have a little trampoline. And so like when we go to Little People's, it's a lot of the sandbox, which I really do like. And I think that's good. And I grew up in Berlin and I took my nephew to Little People's and he was little and it's still the same. And I still take my kids and they do like it. But I find myself traveling outside of town to go to playgrounds with my kids. I have a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old and soon to be babies. And so I think we're just looking for something different, something, like I said, we don't have in our backyards. I know that we talk about Jonathan's Dream a lot in West Hartford. And even I went to New Britain recently to Chelsea Park where they have the splash pad and they have a playground on the other side. And even that playground, I don't know if you've been there, is really nice. And I know it's new and shiny, but just they have a lot of climbing stuff that we don't get, rock walls and climbing up to the slide and this slide goes this way and that slide goes this way. And I also was looking, because my mom lived in Florida, there's a great park there, just like a theme for the park. Like if it's a firefighter theme, then everything's firefighters. You have like a little firefighter truck, you have the firefighter pole, you got the red, you got the wheel that the kids can turn. I know when I was in Florida, they had that. It was like a firefighter thing with ramps and there was a little play dog and they had a little fire truck. My son sat there for like 45 minutes pretending to be a firefighter. So I just think like that it's kind of cool and would be something to look into, to use the money in that way. And again, I know we were talking about like the teens kind of tweens, they get lost because Little People's is way too small for them. And there's really nowhere else to go in Berlin. I mean, I grew up in Berlin and I think we would go to Percival and swing on the swings and pretend it was haunted, maybe, I don't know. But that was a long time ago. And, those are the only things in town to do other than, and then you're just walking down Farmington Avenue where the cars are busy and there's not really much to do. So, like a skate park, I've heard of skate parks a lot from the moms in town about doing something like that, just for some of the kids to go hang out and bike there or whatever. So.
Appreciate that.
Thank
You
you
very much. Anyone else you wanted to speak, I believe?
Yes. Actually, my name's Elaine Irwin Matulis, and I live at 260 Beckley Road in Berlin. And I'm here on behalf of the Kensington Garden Club. And also I'd like to comment on the East Berlin pool because it directly affects my family, but I'll wait with that. We as a project, I'm the president of the Kensington Garden Club, and we wanted to take on the project of beautification of the Little People's Playground. The big push nationally is for pollinator pathways now. So what we enlisted Mr. Johnson to help us with a preliminary design. And then we were told that they were going to pave the parking lot possibly. So we put everything on hold, but it is a project that we would like to take on to beautify the town. And it would come out of funds that we raise from, our activities, and we would take ownership of the beautification. We wouldn't do the different apparatus that would be on the playground. That would be someone else's, but we would like to make it look better. And there is a big national movement for pollinator pathways, which is what we put in at the volunteer park, if you can see that. And we did get some funding for that. And I think it really looks very nice right now. But I would ask Mr. Johnson to come up and speak about that. And then I'd like to address the East Berlin.
Yeah, we're limiting speakers to 3 minutes.
Okay.
So, but we appreciate everything Kensington Garden Club proposes and, more to come.
Yeah, my biggest point here was to let you know that this.
Can I just ask?
Yeah.
Name, company?
Yeah, Ted Johnson, Wildscape Artisans. I'm from Weathersfield. So one of the things that comes up is clearly Pollinator Pathway is a major organization now and is promoting the installation of pollinator gardens all across the country. The big thing that I wanted to assure you is that we have done, that my company has done designs and installations in Glastonbury. We've actually done one at the Rotary Fields. And that is adjacent to a playground and the playing fields that are over there. We're also doing major installations at Matson Hill in Glastonbury, which is a more open park. It doesn't have a playground, but it is used quite a bit. People walk their dogs, that kind of thing. And then finally, we are doing installations at the ferry landing in Glastonbury. And again, those are actually quite close to where people, move, and there are areas where people can sit and that kind of thing. So we're used to doing installations near active areas. We understand some of the limitations or the problems that can occur, but so far in the installations we've done near those active areas, we have not heard of any issues cropping up with the bees being around or whatever. So I'm here as much to answer questions if you have them, and I'll be glad to do that. But this type of project is not new, and it's being done certainly in the Hartford area. I know there are other groups in Cheshire, in Simsbury, and other towns in the area that are doing similar things. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I go back? Yes.
I didn't want to break up the river.
East Berlin.
The East Berlin pool.
Or Dingo.
Okay, I've been a resident of the town for over 42 years, and as a child, my grandparents were here. So I have a very long history in Berlin, and that East Berlin pool has always been there. And it has been served a great service to all the people in this area and anybody east of the Berlin Turnpike, I guess. So I don't know why, and I consider it a black eye on Berlin that they can't upkeep a facility that has been there for how many years. In fact, you even lost one swimming pool when you lost the Berlin Lions. So there's less swimming pools, and you need more activities for kids than you've ever needed. And I just think it's, with the tax base has increased so substantially, I really can't understand why it can't continue. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, please.
Hi, my name is Todd Helming, 931 Norton Road, and I live in Kensington, but I'm halfway between the two pools. Growing up, my kids are now 6 and 9 and 11. They're actually at soccer tonight, so that's why we're not having kids here. But we always chose the East Berlin pool for lessons because it was a very nice environment. Both pools were good. But what I remember back before COVID, when they were taking lessons here in Berlin regularly, all the lesson spots were full. There was never really an opening. Once or twice there'd be a few spots, but both pools were fully utilized at that time for lessons. And I mean, that's a critical thing, teaching our youth and our kids how to swim and be safe in the water. And I think that alone is a really important consideration to make sure we have adequate facilities to serve our youth in that way. But in addition to the swim lessons, the opportunities for residents to have 2 different options for pools, both were used pretty regularly as our family attended over the years. So I definitely am in support of finding a way to recapture that and continue using that pool. The other thing I want to speak briefly about is the little kids area there, that little mini pool that isn't used at the moment. A lot of towns that had areas like that have converted those to splash pads, whether it be a little larger, a little smaller. A lot of it I understand is for insurance purposes and whatnot. So I would definitely also be a supporter of splash pads. With my youngest kids, we've had to travel to other towns, like everyone else has said here, before they're able to swim and enter the water safely on their own so they can relax and we can relax as parents. We had to use other town services for that. And it would be wonderful to have that here. Although my kids are getting a little older, I certainly support that for the next generations of students as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? You're... Okay. Can we ask if anyone is on Zoom and would like to speak in audience of citizens? Okay, I haven't heard anyone say they would like to speak. Okay. No one else to speak, right? Okay. All right, so we're gonna close audience of citizens right now. And we we do appreciate everyone coming. Again, you can stay. And we encourage you to come to our meetings. And also you need to follow through to town council meetings. Some parents have been here. They've come to our meetings in the past. You know, you need to help us advocate for some of the things you're talking about. We can tell you the factual information. We'll get to that about the pool, just so that everybody's on the same page and you understand the facts. Which we have gone to the council. I've spoke at the council. I've tried to get the word out. The Citizen will not provide a lot of good print coverage. Some people rely on Facebook. As a town, you know, Facebook is used for a lot of different things, and it's great for groups. But we're not gonna act on those types of things. We really need people to come give ideas. You know, really constructive ideas. So, but in any event, we ask you to stay involved. Okay, it's really important. And stay involved through the town council. The staff, the commission has proposed things over the years. And they'll listen to us, but sometimes they go down another path. Okay, and you can see that recently, you know, the commission presents budgets, capital improvements that we want. You look at the history, you will see a number of capital improvements that you talked about that have been on our list. But every department in the town does the same thing. And the wave of the town has been, you know, over the last so many years, and I'm not getting political out at all, but the feeling is there's too much debt out there. Capital projects will be handled, but only when we know we have a surplus from the operating budget at the end of the year. Our year ends June 30th. The audit's done by November. That's when everything is firmed up. Now, from June 30th to November, they get the numbers like this year. And I think, you know, it was like 1.8 or $2 million, just rounded. Don't hold me to that number. Okay. We went to the Board of Finance. We went to the council. We pushed for our #1 priority, which is Little People's Playground on our list, okay? 2 town council meetings ago, we had the Board of Finance approve and recommend to the council, yes, let's do it. Put the funding there. And then 2 meetings ago, we presented, the council asked us to come back. And, you know, they didn't act on that funding that night. They asked us to come back because we had talked to them about a splash pad that we wanted to incorporate into our town. And so they said, talk to us about the splash pad, and we're not gonna act on the playground now. I then followed up and I said, you know, we got a lot of frustrated people here, and you can look on YouTube and see me speak. And I said, so you need to act on Little People's, again, splash playground, yes, but there's more study that has to be involved in that. Put the funding up. And the council did, but there's more even work to be done in order to get them to spend that money, okay? It's a long process. And that's what you need to understand. And without you guys coming along with us to the council, Crystal can speak to it. She's gotten the moms group to come. Robin, we put a softball field in years ago. I asked, come to the council meeting, because then, you know, they won't listen just to us. So that's how important it is. And that just gives you a flavor, okay? That's all we got. That's it.
Donna, just to comment one thing, Donna talked about how they're not doing capital, they're waiting till the surplus, which is about 1.7, 1.8. Throughout all the town departments, about $18 million worth of capital project is what is requested this past year. So just to give you an idea of, they may spend 1.8 million in surplus, which I think they already allocated $1 million of that to the police station expansion. So really it leaves 800, 900,000. But just so they're looking at a list that encompasses $18 million worth of projects and choosing what to spend the money on. So just So you know, it's not just, oh, hey, what is, Parks and Grounds looking to get, it's what all the town departments are, which comes up to a big number.
So,
Can we ask questions?
No, we can't.
well,
It's up
let
to
me,
you.
let me just, so that's the funding concept, okay, but that's, if you want to have the town spend more. You have to come and talk to that. And talk about the process that they go through for the debt and all that kind of stuff, that's what you need to talk about. It's gonna, and again, they're gonna free up certain dollars and they will take on new debt. They're putting new ventilation systems in the 3 elementary schools. Each school, just don't hold me to it, but it's like $5 million each. They're using the Recovery Act, the $6 million that we got from the federal government during COVID. They're using that to help fund that. But it's to say $15-16 million bill for all 3 schools. So the town will have that debt. They're gonna try and rotate it, and they worked on Willard this past year. So that's going on. As far as grants, okay, the town has a consultant they use part-time for grants. We've tried to get him, and we also looked ourselves from the staff viewpoint for grants, for playgrounds or whatever. There's not a lot of money out there. And if you have a place, come to us. We're very grateful for Kensington Garden Club, to help fund certain things. So, but if you find a grant, of a grant, talk to us right away. You have representatives at the state level. They just received a $750,000 grant towards a police station. Okay, that's what the focus was. Some people might think, well, 750 should free up 750, and be able to spend it. But again, they're trying to keep taxes low. And Berlin does have one of the lowest tax rates in the area. So, okay, so that's that, and we're a recommended commission.
And that's exactly what I wanted to say. You have to understand, we are a recommended commission. And so anything that comes to us, we act on. Like I said, I've been on this commission for a long time. Maybe in the past, certain things weren't acted on, but this commission, I can tell you, acts on things. So, just keep that in the back of your mind. I know it's difficult because as a parent, I didn't grow up in this town, but I have children that were born in this town and raised in this town. Yeah, you're right. It was very difficult. It was very difficult, as you know, right? Trying to be able to find something to do. But I can assure you that this group does act on your questions and comments. So not only do you need to be upfront and come to us, but as Donna mentioned, that $750,000 grant, there are folks, elected officials that you all elect for, and they're responsible for acting on your vote, right? So when you see them, you need to let them know what your concerns are. Again, I've listed all the concerns you've written down, and we will make sure that they're aware. But you also need to make sure they're aware.
It's like consistent follow-up. It's election year. Right? So, I mean.
That's what I'm saying.
So everything Donna said and Don said, I mean, you have to follow up. We're a recommending committee, we recommend stuff. It's up to them to finance it, right? And there's a lot of, like Donna said, a lot of steps that have to happen to make them do that. But they have to know that the constituency is behind something, whatever it is that they're gonna do, right? That's the important thing.
And I will say, not to toot the commission's horn, we have a great staff. We have a very small staff. Compare our staff numbers to every town in this area, okay? But that's what we have to deal with in the whole budgetary environment, right? So that's also part of the constraints that we have. That being said, I'll go to bat with any one of these people sitting to my right, because they work their rear ends off to give what they feel is the best that we can offer to our residents with our oversight. And we have some really good go back and forth and take, and sometimes they change, but there really is good discussions with input from the town as well. So I just, I want to let you know the staff is top notch. In fact, we have towns coming to us and asking us things. So, you know, you can feel what you might, but I'm just telling you, I've been involved with this group a long time, and we've got a pretty good level of staff.
So.
Okay. That, I'm sorry. Oh,
Yes.
someone wants to know when town council meetings are?
Yeah, the 24th.
So they're every other Tuesday night, 7 PM at the town hall.
So it's gonna be twice a month?
It's
Town
every
coun-
other.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
town council's every other Tuesday. Is it next Tuesday?
Yeah, we can look up the-
So
the
that will
next-
be the last one before the election. And then they'll meet right after the election, but it's a very small agenda. It's just to swear in the new council members. And then the meeting after the election, that's when they get back into a normal agenda.
And where they?
Where?
They're at town hall.
The town.
Yeah, if you go upstairs or up the elevator, it's town council chambers. And their calendar is on the calendar. If you go to the Berlin website, right on the calendar, it lists all our meetings right in the calendar, every commission report.
And they'll listen. You know, they'll listen.
They have an
so-
audience of citizens that starts off
Just
their
like
meeting
this.
every meeting.
Okay, I do want to address Dinda Pool too, just to let you know why it was not open this past year. It is a staff issue. As we know, we've all gone through COVID. We have to close the pools for 1 year. We had a feeding program. Lifeguards become supervisors. Supervisors might become the aquatic director, or whatever, right? So you have, and there's another level on there, but so you have lifeguards, supervisors, you have an aquatic director. So we had to close the pools for COVID. You kind of lost that feeding. The lifeguards, if they choose to stay, may become, you know, supervisors in a few years. Age, maturity, there's extra training, all that comes into it, okay? The town did go out, like all towns, and market. Other towns might have an indoor pool. And that provides them their feeding program because it's year round, indoor. You might know that there was senior and community center study that we were involved with as well. That included an indoor pool. There's been no action on that. But, you know, so that indoor pool environment does help the other towns have that feeding program. And then they can move people around, indoor or outdoor during the summertime. In our case, we have 2 outdoor pools. Debbie, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I did want to jot it down. This past year, we had 2 supervisors. We want 5, really 6 supervisors if we have 2 operating pools. Okay? You need, you know, kids calling sick or whatever, and mainly these are college students for the most part that are working. We offer lifeguard training to get a feeding program going. We just offered another American Red Cross. We had 2 people sign up. You need a minimum of 5. That's been posted everywhere on Facebook. People followed it. Oh, I'm gonna, you know, have my kids sign up. 2 people. We couldn't even get the American Red Cross to come. And that's not unusual. Towns are seeing this because it ends up being a 6 to 8 week job. Kids, you know, get jobs elsewhere. Someone mentioned, you know, could we extend it for a week? Unfortunately, because it's mainly college kids that you have for these jobs, they go back to school earlier. So we've had to cut back on our end date for a number of years. This has been in place for a long time.
They don't go back August 3rd.
So
They don't go back the first.
Because I wanted to say it goes back.
It depends on where they're going to school. If they're going to school towards the south versus up here. And I've actually spoken to some students and we were really sad when the pool was closing this year over in Percival. I mean, we were, the families, the adults, we were all talking about it. And with the climate change, the weather is changing. It's still hot, you know, which we all experienced it. I just think that we have to step up, even all of us that's, you know, advocating and or complaining how we want to address it. We have to get involved. I'm off during the summer. Now I can swim. But I'm not necessarily gonna be a lifeguard, but I know I could be a supervisor.
Watch, no longer and above a lifeguard. You have to be a lifeguard. You have to be a lifeguard and then have additional swimming training. to be a supervisor. In any event,
So I'm still saying that there are also older people that can be lifeguards too, that maybe we need to try to find a balance of, the age group. And even still, I'm off during the summer, so there may be some other capacity that I can could add my assets and
Yeah, I
skills.
think what Donna's trying to do here, she's trying to explain some of the situations.
Yes, no, I understand. I'm just adding.
Yeah, but I guess what she's trying to explain to you is the challenges that the commission had over the course of, since COVID, in order to try to keep the pool active.
Right.
Okay, there are many different scenarios in anything that we do in life, right? But this is a challenge for us, and as you probably know, if you watch the news, these challenges were not just unique to Berlin.
And I understand that, but I'm also saying that we can share those challenges too.
Absolutely.
Because we're concerned about it.
absolutely, absolutely.
At least a summer ago, Newington Pool was still open, and I had someone who was researching and calling me and saying, well, so a town pool is still open, which was only an extra week. So that's how I brought up, maybe we should be able to be in sync with maybe the other surrounding towns as well.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so,
Back to you.
so anyway, we have the supervisory staff issue.
Right.
Okay, that's why we had to close the pool. The intent of the commission, the staff, was to open the Mordinda pool this past year. That being said, on the side, there's two other things. One is significant repairs. It was a safe pool, okay? But for those that might have swam there, you'll notice the steps are warped. You notice a lot of cracking around. There's leaking up top, losing water. So we've been, again, look at our capital list. We have that. We had $200,000 to $300,000, depending on the year, to repair that pool. We could never get that to the top of the list and get that funded in prior years. Okay, if we also, just to let you know, we had $750,000 in addition to repair the building and make it ADA compliant. Same with Percival, we had $750,000, never been acted on. Still in our budget, in our list of capital. I shouldn't say budget, it's not in the town's budget because they didn't accept it, but that's been out there. The third thing that we did look at, because when we made the decision to close De Mordinda versus Percival, is attendance. And if you look at the attendance, and I can give you the numbers, attendance has been declining. And again, last year, or this past year, not open. The year before, 2022, we only opened it 5 days for supervisory. We could cover for 5 days, but that's what we could do. That's all we did. Prior years, it was open, for the seven days. But if you look at the attendance numbers, the attendance was 2017, 3,059 for that 48-day period. 2018 went down to 2,497. 2019 down 100 to 2,300. 2020 we closed it. 2021 down, but again we only opened it for 5 days. 2022 opened it for 5 days. We have it by day. In some days there were no people. 2021, again, 5 days during the week, no people. And the average attendance was 19 for that summer.
Can I just ask quickly what year they stopped doing swim lessons at Mordinda and what year they stopped doing tennis lessons? Because we had tennis lessons too, and those.
I can't tell you about the swim lessons.
Or when the kiddie pool stopped being available.
The public attendance, but not including swim, but we will get you that.
But swim lessons roll in. We would go to swim lessons and then stay, right?
Yeah.
If there's no kiddie pool, there's no swim lessons, there's no tennis lessons. I think that is responsible for the drop in attendance.
Tennis is at the high school.
Yeah, tennis lessons are at the high school.
They were only there because the high school is being renovated. We offered tennis lessons at the high school during the summer.
Yeah.
No, I know, but my kids can't drive their bike to the high school.
Well, yeah, we offered them there at those courts because the courts at the
Oh,
high
well, it
school
was
being
great.
renovated.
They
For all
were
the
there
years
for a
they
long
were
time.
there.
We're gonna ask one
Yeah.
person into it.
Sorry, for all the years that they were there was great, and I think it contributed to attendance. That's all I'm saying. I think there are reasons that attendance dropped. That's
Well,
all.
and there's Hubbard School decline as well. I can't speak to middle, but we did look at Hubbard School. There's a decline in
But it's going up
school-age
now.
children.
These last three.
Elementary school, so, but yes, whether that, I can't tell you. There is an increase in pools, you mentioned maybe not in this area, I don't know that. But during COVID, the number of pool permits increased substantially for this town, as in every town, so maybe that's part of it, but again, I can't speak for this side of town.
I mean, I'm gonna.
I don't know the detail, Robin.
We're not supposed to talk about
I
sort of.
don't think you can actually use those statistics, because how did people know that it was open those 5 days and it was during COVID? You know, the years you're using. You're
No, it's
saying-
pre-COVID, I went
You
back to
used
2017.
17 and 18. Those
We
would
can
be
go back
valid,
and
but beyond that, I don't think you can use those when you say there was like 18 people using it. How did people know the pool was even open?
Because they buy pool passes in the town. People in East Berlin, I guarantee, if the Dinda pool is open, everybody knows it.
Yeah, I just don't think those are valid statistics during COVID.
Well,
It's not very cool.
We're open during.
You saying the comparison of post-COVID to COVID? I don't know, I'm not.
It's a decline. Again,
Well, that's.
we have all the statistics and we'd be glad to give it to you in writing or whatever.
You can't.
But we have, okay. We have the years going back. What I can tell you is there was a significant decline pre-COVID. Why? I don't know. Okay, I'm just telling you what the macro numbers are, okay? And it continued. And last year, 2022, the average was 19 people, average. I'm not saying, and we have the maximum, we have the whole range. Want to see it? I didn't bring it with me, but we do have those statistics. Some were zeros. So that was the reason why we chose, along with Percival being bigger, we could absorb more people there. That's why we have chose to keep Percival open, and it's also in better condition. Amy?
Yeah, I have just 3 things. So you mentioned it closes early because of college. It closed August 3rd. Kids go back to college middle of August at the earliest, so it could be open another week. That's one point. Second point is the times I did go into the pool, half the time there was a lifeguard or somebody at the front checking off who came in. Half the time there wasn't. So I don't know how accurate your statistics are from that perspective. My third concern is if we are, I mean, I really hope the pool opens this summer.
Yeah.
But you've already mentioned that there's a supervisor feeding program. Last summer, we had 2/3 or half of the lifeguards that we would normally have. So what I sincerely hope that whoever's in charge of this and getting paid for this has put together a plan to have supervisors in place, because that squarely falls on whoever's getting paid to staff that pool. When any job, if you can't do something in 10 months, you're fired.
You know,
Like-
if you see anything posted, by Berlin, obviously it's posted on Facebook, please pass it on to people that you know. It's been posted a number of times. Again, I'm just telling you, mainly college kids. They're not thinking about their job in the summer right now. Unless they've already worked for Berlin or another town. And then, we go back to them, are you coming back? So, again, we knew 2 supervisors were coming back, that's it.
But again, if we have less people, we have to look outside.
And
of those
then
parameters.
they don't plan until springtime or thereabouts, maybe late winter. So that's when you'll start to see towns go out. It's, been on the high school announcements. Again, we're trying to get the feeder program going more, so.
We've also
I'm only
posted in
gonna-
colleges as well.
And posted at Central.
But if you're saying you rely on that, we're gonna have the same problem this year, and I hope if
And
we
if
have
you-
the same problem, it's the
if
East Berlin
anyone
pool who's
like
open
yourself-
and Percival who's not.
Please,
That's what's fair.
give us constructive thoughts about how to go out, market, where,
Yeah.
and everything, but constructive and.
Just listen, I have a strong business background. It's about collaboration. We have a partnership with the YMCA, Berlin, Kensington, New Britain, YMCA. Why are we not tapping into that resource?
'Cause
They
they
also
need
pay their
their-
lifeguards quite a bit more.
We know the YMCA very well,
Yeah,
right?
but do we get like?
Because
Do we get
they
anything
need their lifeguards and they're using them and they ain't selling them to anybody.
Well,
You
New
can
Britain
ask
also
other
pays
towns as well.
$4 more an hour.
I'm sorry?
New Britain lifeguards for the Parks and Rec get paid $4 more an hour. I know 4 high school kids in Berlin who went and worked at New Britain because.
Go ahead.
I'm not sure that they get paid $4 more an hour than ours. They're
Oh.
pretty, they do tend to pay a little bit more because they have full guards from us, but I don't think it's $4.
Why aren't we competitive?
We are.
We are competitive.
We are.
If you're
Based on
paying
this-
lower than somebody else, you're not competitive.
Okay,
What's the
every time we look at rates and everything, we do go out to the other towns to look at what they're paying. I know that we were competitive, Rocky Hill, Cromwell, Weathersfield, maybe Cheshire. Anyway, so I can't speak to New Britain. New Britain, you know, I'll say city, but yes, it's our next door neighbor, so maybe we need to think about that. But we actually, you know, do look at that stuff, but again,
what is that
that's
really?
where we are. Yes.
I wonder, I know we're having a lot of like discussions, I went to the meeting with some information about like splash pads, pools, like I like data, I'm a data person. I wonder if you guys can generate for us, like what is the pay rate for the lifeguards in Berlin, send that to like the town, and then also like, you know, all the surrounding towns, and then take a look too at, you know, the pool, like people have said, when did that little kid pool area shut down? You know, at Hubbard. I know for me, when I had a 2-year-old, Hubbard was not a great pool for me to go to. They kicked us out during adult swim, and my 2-year-old's having a fit because she wants to go in the water and they won't even let us put her feet in the water. Like I'm getting yelled at for her to get out of the pool. And then I can't bring her over to a playground because there's no playground over there. Then there's not the little kiddie pool area. So I think like feedback I'd like to give is that if the pools are open and there's such low enrollment, can we have people sign up for adult swim so that our kids aren't kicked out of the pool? Because now I'm looking at a pool where no one's swimming. And it's just not friendly, like family friendly. So that would be a suggestion is I would limit adult swim so it's more engaging for our kids.
Thank you. Okay, fair enough. Yes.
As a town resident, I think this is a multifaceted problem. I think that you guys are doing a good job with what you have. However, I think that there needs to be more creativity. Like if you have people that are business people, maybe they need to come in and help market the service. I also feel as though when you have lifeguards that come for a very short period of time, even though it's high school and they're feeding into each other, right? There needs to be a designated open time somewhere on our website that these pools open and close at whatever times. Okay,
is on
no,
our
I'm just
website.
saying, I don't know if we can make it beefier. I mean, there seems to be a lot of people here that are willing to help out to drive those things, whether it's lifeguarding, the maintenance is on the town based on budgeting, right? But the rest of it, there's outside people that could probably help you market to improve your rates of what you have.
We're obviously, we're willing to listen and, you know, within the constraints of the town personal policy. Amy, I believe I talked to you on the phone months ago about this, right?
I'm
So
very
if-
upset about it. I think it's a
If you
terrible
have,
thing
if
for our
you
town.
have, if you have ideas like that, you know, that will help, we're all for it.
One
None
other-
of us want to shut down the pool, obviously, you
But
know.
there's no plan in place for next year. So if we really wanted to open the pool, a plan would already be in the works, so this doesn't happen next year.
Well, I
It
think
doesn't
part
sound
of,
like that is.
I think part of
Okay.
the problem is we need to go to the council meeting to state this because their hands are tied. Right.
This
With
is
the
the first meeting
monetary.
we've had about it. Yeah.
Correct, with the monetary, and I have to bring people.
It's
that-
actually been discussed at many of our Parks and Recreation Commission meetings that are always public to anyone who wants to come.
Where are those published?
The minutes are all published
The
on the
minutes
website.
No, when the meetings are.
They're all
minutes,
put
we can't
all on the
participate,
website.
yeah.
The second Tuesday of every month.
Right, I think I mentioned when we discussed, so we always meet on the second Thursday of every month, 6 o'clock. It's normally in the Board of Ed office because they have a better Zoom feature. We did this meeting because we want to make sure that we incorporated people that might be concerned about the pool or other things around this area. Okay, I'm gonna allow 2 more comments because, you know, not you, right? Yes.
Just about like finding staffing, I understand that you guys said you do announcements at the high school, but high school kids don't listen to the announcements, because I was there and I didn't listen to the announcements. Cool, everyone's like, oh, what are you doing tomorrow? I don't understand why you couldn't have like a, like even a swim team, I was on the swim team, and we would go to middle school and talk to the girls about joining the swim team to get more people interested. So I don't know why you can have a representative, even from the town council or from the pool, go to the high school just instead of like I mean, everyone has study time there. Or a free period that they don't do anything on their
Or compensate.
So why wouldn't you do that? Say, you know, we just want a moment of your time. Here is the job. This is how much you get paid. You know, you talk to the girls swim team, you talk to the boys swim team, you talk to anybody who, you know, is on a.
Right.
It might bring you more people. That's what I'm just saying.
Right,
Different aspects.
The more you can touch people and talk about, sometimes you
I mean,
might get a
flyers
couple.
are great. A busy team
Sure.
has, you know, I know.
Just, you know, obviously the
Yeah.
swim teams at the high school have been involved, we're trying to encourage them, but even those, for the most part. They got other jobs.
Yeah,
You know,
I get it.
Cause they,
I'm just saying it's
Because
it's
it's
another
inconvenient.
avenue you could try.
Right.
We could try.
Right.
I'm happy to, but I haven't seen anything on Facebook and I.
well,
you
it
know,
has been out there.
Yeah, so
You
I'm
know,
happy to.
maybe
post
not the
something,
time
maybe I
that you
have to
look, but
follow a
it's been
certain
out,
page.
it's been out there, but
So,
again, and the Citizen doesn't print anything, so, you know, we've tried,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
yes.
two super quick constructive ideas. I know four
Yes.
kids who are high schoolers on the swim team who lifeguard for other places, a country club or New Britain.
Right.
There's the impression, they were the ones that told me the New Britain pays $4 more. I obviously don't know what they make. I don't know what you pay. And also, they were all hired at 15 and they were told that Berlin doesn't hire at 15. So I don't know what the rules are, the laws are, like, this is just stories I'm hearing from kids. But if we're able to consider hiring younger, then maybe we would have more kids feed that pool.
Yeah.
So that's what those kids are telling me.
Right.
That's all I know.
Right, see, the issue for this past year is, we had the lifeguards, in fact, we had more than would normally, so. We needed the supervisor level to expand to more than the pool. But appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, again. Okay, just because you haven't spoke, so I'll let.
The 200,000 that was approved for the little people.
Just funded, not to be spent, not to be.
The funding was approved.
We,
Not by the
No.
Board of Finance yet, town council approved,
so.
sending that.
It's
It's
just.
a project, I get
I
it,
just-
I get it.
Board of
Steve, you got me.
Board of Finance recommends to town council.
Yeah.
Town council says, okay, we're there. Now it goes back to Board of Finance for them to approve it. Then the staff can get to work on things.
Okay, so
In
we're
the
at that.
meantime, I will guarantee you, we've been working on playgrounds and got your package, thank you. You know, Steve reaches out to people. I know he's reached out to Kensington Garden Club. I will tell you this. I think, but again, it'll be subject to discussion and consultation with the staff. But to take advantage of your very nice offer and working with us. We really need to wait until the playground is put in, and that's why there's been a delay on the road. We want it all done. You know, with no sense putting in beautiful shrubbery if you're gonna replace it.
Correct.
So, now, last thing, in case anybody has to leave, splash pad. We did bring that up to the town council, and to the mayor. He seems to like it. Again, there's an election November. So, you know, but he seems to like that idea. We have visited towns, looked at splash pads in Britain. Middletown is a beautiful one. Middletown's complex, just to tell you, they redid their pool and the splash pad, $8 million. Okay? You know. I'm not sure we're gonna get that through here, okay, just letting you know. The splash pad is like the Taj Mahal. That being said, through Steve's good work and everything. If we're successful in getting approval for a splash pad at some point, and we're not there yet. Then obviously would be constrained by the dollars, but one of the things that's nice about a splash pad is that. You could just say invest 250,000, just throwing out a number, and you get a pretty good splash pad. But then you can add to it later. You can add so older kids or higher elements or whatever, you know, and as new things come up, that's appealing. So we are looking at that. And I will tell you, one of the sites that was looked at was Worthington Ridge. However, there's no water or sewer there. And without saying it, but our our next place to look is at the Demore Dinda Pool Complex. You know, the green area between the pool and the tennis courts, pickleball courts. That's the area right now. There's no design out there because we don't have the money to even get a design. How would it look? But we do have bathrooms there. We also have some shaded area. What that would do with the pool complex, that will be another subject, but we're limited dollars. We want to put money where we think, you know, new ideas, things like that, that may help out. That's all that we're at. And, you know, we go from there, but, you know, we are looking at it. We've talked to the council. Actually, Steve brought it up with the council last meeting, myself, and I'm encouraged. But I don't have the 200,000 for the playground, so I always know, okay, and how hard we had to work for that. We're almost there for that. So if you feel that that's something to try and get, please help us out, okay? There would be a design done to, you know, the pool area. What do you do with the pool area if we don't open up the pool? If we open up the pool, how would it be designed and all that? Again, no specific decision on the pool, but we do have to look at limited dollars. That's all I'm saying. The town can only offer so much, so. The other thing is with the senior community center thought. There, you know, the mayor's thinking about maybe put a Y rather. That's an indoor pool. So that kind of has to come into discussions as well. Before the town would consider investing, I'll just say, in another pool area. I've been trying to push that to understand what should we, you know, what should the town do?
Is there an area, sorry, is there an area in mind at all? I know that's far out, but for wherever the Y would be.
For, so, well, right now,
Across the hall, that's
right across from the high school.
Patterson Way property. Right now, there's big piles of dirt if you drive by.
Alright.
That just so you guys know, the mayor is speaking at the Berlin Senior Center on November 1st. I want to say 1
The
o'clock,
day before election.
but I'm not positive.
6 days before. election.
And one of the things he is going to be discussing at the request of the seniors is the status of the community senior center. So if anyone's interested, advise go to that and ask some questions. Thank you.
That
That
was a
has
big
had no
ticket
action
item.
since the committee
So,
presented it.
But there again, he had open forums about that,
Yeah.
and nobody came.
Nobody.
And to be honest with you, Donna worked her tail off to try to get it in front of people and so forth. It's a beautiful design. Yes, it's gonna cost money, but everything costs money.
I saw a picture of it, it was pretty.
It really is. And they would,
It's nice.
Video about
We had,
It's enormous, yes, but it's nice.
there was one family that constantly came. We had another couple that came. And other than that, here and there.
we had the swim team.
And
And talk about.
swim teams were always, that's it.
That was it.
That's
And
it.
you talk about
And they were all
having,
public meetings.
you talk about having opportunities for young children and students. That would have been ideal.
I think
And
unless
with the
people are
seniors.
looking for meetings, they're not,
I know,
they're not well advertised, so unless you go and search for the information. Someone shared this in the Berlin Buzz page, that's why I'm here, that's how I found it. Yeah,
She did.
thank you.
About, I put it up. I make sure. The staff puts it on the town website.
Put on the town
Other
Facebook
people
page
put
this
it out.
time.
There's other, you know, but it's on degree. And I will tell you, look it up, Senior Community Center.
Yeah.
I try to get everybody to come down there. No one.
Yeah.
So guess what? They got their wish.
Well, that was a
They're
few
not
years
moving
before
ahead.
COVID, right?
There's a great report.
No, the
Yeah.
meetings were after COVID.
Right.
They were after.
Go look at that
Yeah,
report.
they're all in.
Yeah.
They were all in.
Go look at the report. It's beautiful, beautiful, but taxes would go up. And so the mayor.
Went up over 20%, so I'm out for that.
There was significant increase, but, so that's why the mayor's thinking, well, the why. But the why fundraises too,
Yeah.
okay? And who are they gonna look to?
All right, I'm gonna time us out here because. we
Yeah,
do
thank
need to
you
get
guys
back
for your
to-
time.
So, we appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and,
Thank
feel
you.
free to come next time. Thank
Appreciate
you.
your time.
And you're all on first day for the rest of the meeting.
Hey, listen, guys, hold on. The most important thing that happened tonight is that you were here, okay? That you were here. It's now what happens going forward.
right?
What's the next meeting we should go to?
I think that is something. To tell us, well. I think the next.
24th at 7 p.m. Town Hall, second floor, town council.
Yeah.
24th is Sunday?
No, I don't
No, you might want to wait till after the election, so you know who you're talking to.
Well.
No.
We'll talk both.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't sign it, can you sign it?
Just make sure we have the correct spelling and address.
Thank you.
4-H meeting next Wednesday. No, it just, we just finalized it last night.
I was gonna actually cut you ask.
I just posted it in the Facebook page, and we're meeting at, used to be Kensington Congregational, I'm running through in 1 week a year. We'll have our calendar.
Where is it gonna be?
I'm at Berlin Congregational Church, I'm working.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna also make flyers and I'll bring them to the game Saturday, so you can have one there, but I'm
My son is on board 100%. My daughter is considering each 7 months because they do the cow. I don't even know about that. I was mentioning that to her. I know
sheep, but we have dogs, poultry, rabbits. Goats. I got rabbits. Dog, and then Jill has cows, she's bovines, and then.
Organization.
That's
So that might be a reason.
that would be great, I mean, you're gonna have to give me grace, because we're gonna figure this out.
I completely understand.
Yeah.
It's like a new,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
understand. When-
Next Wednesday, 5:30.
So next Wednesday has in anything else?
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah, and I'll bring a flyer too.
Thank you.
I'll put Aaron put it in.
Yeah. Yeah, you related to Andy. Yeah. Yes. My dad's cousin. My dad is. So I don't.
Hi, everyone. Hey, see you at the next meeting.
Thank you very much.
Move on, let's go, gotta go, gotta go. Gotta go. Oh. No, you can zoom in. Bring the kids, bring the kids. We got these. Look at Joe, nice and relaxed over there. Jeez,
Good.
Show up anymore. Must be nice in that nice rocking chair.
Looks like a sportscaster.
How you doing, Joe?
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
I thought you were asleep.
I'm sorry? Yeah, we're being taped. All right, okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate everybody listening to people. That's great. Approval of minutes, September 14th. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes? Yeah, Don was not there.
Oh, it was second motion.
Okay, well, Greg is first. Luke,
What?
second.
Okay.
Okay, any discussion on the minute? Okay, just one, I've already talked to Tiff on let's see, 5D. Just at the very end, Chairman Bove described what was presented to the council. It says the mayor.
That's your lawyer.
We're just the kind of the wording, but the council tabled the Little People's funding and asked us to present, the splash pad at the next council meeting, which that's what it was. So she's already got that changed, but again, subject to our discussion.
Right.
That's the only change I have. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, except for those that were there. Okay.
Aye.
Four, thank you, Vera. Yeah, four. Okay, Consent agenda. And we have to add some.
They abstained, because they were out there, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, consent agenda, where the hell is it? Oh, here, sorry.
We don't have anything.
There's nothing.
Oh, no, that was, yeah, okay,
We don't-
thanks, yeah.
I was like, what are you looking for? There's nothing there.
Okay. We have to add something to the agenda.
Yes.
Okay. Plan of conservation and development. Can I can I have a motion to add the plan? Our nominee from Parks and Rec Commission for the plan of conservation and development.
Has to be added to the agenda. So
Okay,
someone has to make a
I'll make a motion to add it to the agenda.
Okay.
For discussion. Yep.
Seconded?
Tip, I will forward you this, you have the word.
Okay, Luke seconds. Thank you, Luke. All right, Joe, not to ignore you, but you're not here. All right, so, okay, so we've got a second. Any discussion? So we need someone from our commission to volunteer to work with this other group that's gonna try and
It's basically kind of
Incorporate.
following along the plan of conservation and development that was created that you guys all were sent to review. They need a commission member to be on this committee. It's not going to be a lot of meetings, I don't think. I think they're going to be quarterly throughout the year. Don't quote me on that though.
I nominate Lucas.
And
Second. You got it. He's involved. So he's gonna say, I'm gonna go with that. Good?
Yeah.
right for you.
Thank you.
All right, we got Lucas, thank you.
Lucas, I will.
You're off the hook, Joe.
Lucas, I will forward
I
your
like the way that worked.
Maureen at planning and she will get in touch with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then,
Thank
once
you.
you start, you can just report, like, and ever just give us the update. You're good.
It's
That's
bad,
great.
but it's not. We've all been through it.
Okay, Parks and Rec, monthly meeting. Yep. Or monthly report, excuse me.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone has any questions with my monthly report.
I do not.
Okay.
The community center trunk or treat,
Yes.
is that gonna be pretty crowded?
No.
And Where are you doing, like,
In the
right in the parking lot, and it
Yeah.
won't be too crowded, okay.
It's
So
a
people
big
will
parking lot.
park.
We can cross the street.
Closer
Yeah.
to
Across the
each
street.
other.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
all.
we don't have to have a lot of space in between because they're walking
Right,
and.
I didn't know where they were parked, I wanted to make sure they're parking across.
Oh, yeah, no, we're gonna have
You'll
a
have
police
some,
officer on
thank you.
duty to help cross,
Right.
because even though it's a weekend, there's still traffic on that road.
Okay,
But, that parking lot is plenty of room. When we did at Stage last year, it was great, but we had people kind of spread out at the beginning and at the end, everyone was like a lot closer, and the
Yeah.
people that were closer had better interaction than the people like that were far away
Sure.
or felt like they were very far away. So I think this, and if it doesn't work, then we'll
Right,
try
try
something
it
else. But I was trying to get it into the center of town so that if people had other things going on, they weren't going all the way to Sage and then have to, because it is a little bit out of the way to go to Sage. But this way, like if there's other stuff, they're right on Kensington Road, they can go. I know the police are doing theirs on Sunday, so that's not gonna be the same night, which I thought that one might, but sometimes St. Paul's does theirs, so. You know, I just thought it would be a little bit more convenient and the way the weather's been going this year, if it rains, we can move it into the community center. And just have
Good
people
idea,
set up their
yeah.
trunks inside, so we don't have to cancel the event, so that was kind of another reason to change it, cause at Sage you have no option. And we don't have enough tents to give a tent to every trunk, so.
great.
You know, we're just trying to think of different things and, you know, we actually have some new people from the community doing trunks, which is gonna be
Yeah.
kind of cool, so it's nice. I think we're up to 16 or 17 trunks now.
Okay, great. Any questions, Debbie?
Yeah, so Debbie,
Yeah.
just following up about what people talked about tonight, and I know it's October, this is not something you don't think about for a few months, but pool supervisors. So now that we have another year under our belt, right, of experienced lifeguards, will that, I mean, do you potentially see an increase getting to that magic number of 6 supervisors?
With my current staff, no,
No,
nope. And I have two of the kids who are seniors in college, so I don't know what their status is gonna be, so that.
Were they the two supervisors?
They were the two
So they're-
supervisors,
they
so
were-
potentially they they're seniors and they could be moving on. I don't have 6 of my current staff that I feel comfortable, that are mature enough to be able to handle the responsibilities to be in charge of a pool at this point, so.
So then to follow up with that question. What else would we do? Like, what are our?
I think you're kind of putting me, honestly, you're putting me on the spot to have to answer that right now, so.
We ever put things on Indeed, stuff like that?
Not for lifeguarding. I mean, I've talked to other communities, because they have year-round pools, they're able to work with their staff and train their staff and. It's hard when you have people here for a 7-week.
Yeah.
Season to be able to do that. And yes, I think there are some kids who would be great candidates to be supervisors, but I don't think that there's 6 of them. I mean, I don't have 6 kids that are, I think, that are even going into college from the current staff. And, I'd love to have more staff come in, but I just don't think that the popularity of lifeguarding is the way that it used to be and evident throughout the whole country. But I think it's, we're feeling the pinch more because we don't have that indoor pool. It's just a short season.
Yeah.
So I can't think of anything off the top.
Okay, I just wanted to see what your thoughts were, now that the season ended, and you got a feel for the staff that you had. What our possibilities would be for getting, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, it never, the kids really don't know, I've had people last minute in April tell me that they're not coming back, so it's hard to have the kids come in unless they're really, they know for sure.
I think, a couple of people came up to the table, I heard Debbie say, should be excited to have some people help us market, to get it out there, so.
Or if they think that these people, I'm not really sure that these older adults want to go through the lifeguard training class to be certified, but I can't just have someone because they're an older adult in charge of a pool. If there's an emergency, you need someone who can perform the necessary skills to save someone's life. Just because you're an adult doesn't mean you're qualified to do that, and I think that's
I think the reality of that would set in after a while with the people that are thinking that it's just the easy thing and they could do it, they don't really understand the whole.
And I know both swim team coaches at the high school last year, they're always, I know that Dan Thurston's always encouraging his kids to go and get their WSI because we tend to lose WSIs and, that's very important for swim lessons. But again, it's a long course, it's hard to find, it's expensive.
One of the female swim team members, she teaches privates, she makes way more money than she would ever do working at a pool.
Yeah.
Just does private classes.
But I know that they do encourage the kids to get certified and be lifeguard, but not everyone, just because they swim, wants to be a lifeguard, that's,
Yeah.
That's the other part of it, so. If anyone has any other ideas, that would be great, I gave the flyer to Tiff last year, she posted it at Central, and I got no interest from anyone at Central, and even I think that she can say that she was surprised that just got something with it, no one. And I think our pay scale is comparable to other surrounding counties.
How would you
check
find out
into
about
New Britain? Just check in.
I'll
see
call,
what they pay.
I talk to them all the time.
County, you made the point, they're a city.
No,
It's
absolutely.
But I think that
I
they
do
do
want-
like $1 more than us, just because it's like a friendly neighborhood.
And I don't mean to get off topic, but if you looked at every single town here, we're, us having 2 pools for the size of our town based on every single other town. We'd be the only one. Nobody has 2 pools.
And just another note, New Britain did close the exact same day.
New Britain and Rocky Hill closed the same weekend that we did. And
Well, that was me.
No. Newington and New Britain, and I think Rocky Hill stayed open like 2 days longer. So we all closed the same time.
So that was my next question. So the pool, first pool closed on what day?
I think it was the 12th. I don't know.
They said August 3rd, but.
Well, we used to close one pool early because what happens is the kids that don't vacation all summer, vacation in August before they go to school. So we didn't have enough staff to fully staff 2 schools. So we always closed one and we kept Percival open longer because that was always the pool that had more attendance.
Percival was the 12th.
But this year, I
thought it
think
always
the
got
woman
closed
said
like a
you
week
closed it
before
August
high
3rd.
school
I don't
started,
know if that's the
something
theater.
like that.
No, it's not.
like that.
No.
Like I said, I remember because I remember coming into work that Friday and Erin Stewart had posted on her Facebook that tomorrow was the last day for the pools. I know New Britain closed the exact same day as
And
us.
Newington.
August 12th.
Yeah.
Oh, August twelfth?
And
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
she
she said August.
not open
Well,
until
That was the
school-
previous days of when East Berlin was open.
It's not open until school ends, right?
It opens Father's Day weekend. No matter when school
Father's
ends.
Day weekend.
Yeah.
So we're talking about less than 8 weeks.
Right.
48 days, 52 days, whatever it is, that's.
But it's not different from the surrounding town schedule.
We're fairly
Meriden
close.
is very similar as well. 'Cause
Yeah.
I live in Meriden.
And I think Rocky Hill even opened, I think we were one of the first schools to open in June.
I think what would be helpful, and again, you know, just over the next month, just put together a sheet. Closed, lifeguard pay, just so that you have it, so that we can answer the question, you know, factual, just factual information. That's what it is.
I lost. You lost his train of thought. Whoa, I have a question. So based on everything that we've heard tonight, what is the plan? I understand that we have the issue with lifeguards for the East Berlin pool. But if we were to get the lifeguards, where do we stand? If hypothetically we get the lifeguards, what's the plan for the pool? Well, we're just gonna open it right away. Yeah, can it be reopened? What's the plan? Yeah, Steve.
We don't
right?
know.
It can be open. Is he still here?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm here, yeah. It can be open, they'll just leave.
Once we find out if we have the staffing, we would go in and inspect the pool and see where we stand structurally. If structurally we are good, then at that time we would try to open them.
But continue to leave because.
Continue to leave.
It'll continue to.
What about the kiddie pool?
Kiddie pool.
Kiddie pool's out.
No,
It's out, it was out. I know it was out before, but I mean, in listening to what they were saying, a lot of times the parents with little kids, you know, they would go there and they would have the kiddie pool, right? Times change, it's not the same.
And we do the adult swim and someone did complain to me this summer when I was at the pool, but I did check. And other towns also do an adult swim. It's to give kids a break from being in the water. You don't want a kid in the water for 6 hours straight.
I personally love
So-
adult swimming. I
They-
would
they
laugh at
always
my
did
kids
adult
outside.
Well, and unfortunately, there are some times when there's no adults in, but it just, I mean. It's hard to
kids
say,
get tired.
okay, don't do that, and
Yeah.
now you get a kid in the pool for 3 or 4 hours straight, they're gonna get tired, they're at more risk to. You know, have some difficulty with their swimming, it's just, there's a lot. Involved with that, and that's, I mean, I explained to the person that adult swim has been in place since I was. A kid swimming in Berlin, and they just made a comment that maybe. It's time to change things, but it's other towns do have that break.
The one resident that mentioned about, here at this school, they used to leave as 5th graders. How was that pool open in?
So that again,
open
so when I came in, it wasn't for a week, when I started. But there would be like a couple days that they would come down, and then they would do field days, then they would bus in kids from Willard. But it was all staffed with college kids, and college kids are part of our issue that we just don't have the college kids. And then it became an issue because Griswold couldn't come, so it wasn't fair that the other schools could come. And then the town council at one point cut our funds. So that was the funds, when Steve Kelly was here, those were the funds that he targeted to cut, because it had less of an impact of, you know, when most of the people were able to swim. It kind of served only a small group, so they didn't think that it was fair to do that, so.
Okay.
That's there's a lot behind that. But there was some swimming, yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you, Debbie.
So sorry about the other response, Tony. I mean, I could have a better idea in November. You know, just trying to hire
Right.
basketball staff
Yeah,
right
bring
now,
on the
so,
spot.
you know, I mean.
Okay. Any other questions, Debbie? No, okay. Steve?
I haven't seen you guys in 3 months, so besides rain almost every single day, every single weekend, I think we're up like 20 something inches. Fields are getting hammered, really not taking the water really well anymore, so what do you guys got for me?
Well. No, I was gonna say that it'll probably come up when we talk about the fields, because I think that the progress on both, Percival and, Vescovio are in pretty good shape, but, you know.
I think so.
That's what's on the agenda.
How is the, now that you turn the lights off at Berlin High School, is it improved?
So what's funny is trash has been pretty good. Litter inside the parking lot has been very good. We just went through a fall break. And the parking lot looks like it's been improved. So the problem is not getting any questions.
But is that because school is in session too? I mean,
When school's in session, the parking lot is good. Once we get into a weekend or we get into a long weekend, like a Columbus Day holiday weekend, where the kids are off Monday and Tuesday, they all congregate and make a mess. So when school's in session, it's not bad. When they are out, it's a mess. How we combated it? We try to go in there once every couple of weeks and clean it. You know, we're not getting any complaints. The only complaints we're really getting is from the Board of Ed and the school teachers and the school saying, hey, the parking lot's covered in litter.
Yeah.
But I just don't have the manpower to dedicate 3 hours a day, 4 hours, 4 guys to clean up trash. So we
What
don't.
about the thought about closing the gate? I know it would be closed at a certain time later, so during the day, they could still trash it on the weekends, but.
Yeah, we're still in the thought process of how we would make that work. I think the glitch that we're running into is the summer. Because custodians all work the same hours. So our biggest biggest problem is the summer. And we don't have somebody to close the gate. That's, so until we can come up with an idea in our minds by talking around a round table, we can't do anything. It's just, it would not be a good investment of $5,000 or $6,000 for a gate that can't be closed.
yeah.
Little people's. So do you have any update? The 200,000, the council approved,
So.
go ahead.
Yes, no problem. So what happened with Little People's is this, the Board of Finance approved the $1.8 million to be spent by capital. It went back to the town council. The town council, on the day they were supposed to, did not act on it. Just because I think we were 2.5 hours in, we were not getting anywhere, it was backlogged. So we kind of shut the meeting down for the night. We went back to the next meeting. The agenda item for both of my items, the way that it was written, is it will be approved by the town council. And it just has to go to the Board of Finance for the rubber stamp, and then we are good to go. So next Thursday, I go to the Board of Finance for the $200,000 for Little People's Playground. And I don't know why they changed it from Tuesday
Right
to
to
Thursday.
Thursday, okay, all right, so I don't expect any issue with that, do you?
No, I don't.
Board of Finance,
Is the 200,000 gonna go just for the playground, or is it going for parking too?
No, so the parking will be paid out of DPW's paving budget. The $200,000 will go for the fence, the wood fiber, the playground equipment, and whatever else we can get with that one. I will speak to this, that if you look at the pictures that the lady sent today, and you dive through them. The Jonathan's Place, that is landscape structures, that is one of the most expensive playground manufacturers out there, but they offer a different, they target something totally different. So when we start looking at it, that's what we have to think about. Where we want to go with it. Do we want to go with what they want? Or do we want to go
Well, I
traditional?
was just gonna say, is that something that you would wanna take like input from like, you know, the moms?
Jen doesn't know this right yet, but I will work with Jen and I on a way or an idea that we can get possibly something out of getting somewhat of what people's opinions are once we have the design.
They had 3 meetings. I think that's what this presentation is. They had 3 meetings and.
but I think they wanna.
Like if there's a way we could do like a survey monkey or something on Facebook and send it out there and like, hey, A, B, C, or A, B, and
I
C.
mean, I'm not saying let's put it out there and let them choose, I'm saying
Right.
just to get
Feedback.
their, input so that.
Can you get a
Afterwards.
fireman poll, please?
Like if you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but that's.
I think that's,
not
cool.
very
I think that's cool. I'd like to see that. Make the whole thing,
People
Spider-Man
sit down to go through things,
right?
you know, they don't wanna sit down with, what do you, go ahead.
We just did this
Okay.
with Willard School. Committees are great. But everybody has their own agenda.
Whereas if you do a survey Crystal's not speaking on behalf of everyone, everyone can go on and
Exactly.
put their own name.
I think there's
But
more
so
value in
the
it.
survey says, we want this, we can't afford it. So what's?
We would put out options, we would put out pictures, I
So,
think. is what you said.
My thought process would be this, we have three companies come up with a design. We say, we put it out on Facebook. Hey, you like option A, option B, option C? See what that comes back with.
Okay.
If some of the comments, you know, if we get a few comments back like, hey, I kind of really like what's in option A where it has a fireman's pole and option B does not, then we can go back to the manufacturer and say, hey, like, this is a priority. And this is where we're not sitting down with a small group of people, we've brought in quite a few people, and I think that's gonna be better knowledge for us.
You put it out to Facebook, to everybody,
Everybody.
like Donna Bovee, who doesn't have kids, like, or do you focus? With the moms?
I don't know anything about
We don't
Facebook.
have access to the moms group, we only have access to the town Facebook page.
We could send it to the moms group and say, hey, can you put this on your mom's group and have them post
Yeah.
it? There's a way to send it.
You can send it, you can send it to Crystal and have her send it
Have
to her.
knowledge vested in it.
Crystal has a large group, we send her the link and she sends it on.
Yeah, no, she can.
So
Right,
if
right.
they're out there with their children going to all these different towns, visiting the different towns,
Yeah.
getting ideas of playgrounds, they might have a little bit of input about.
Sure,
Right.
sure.
I don't know. I don't go to playgrounds anymore.
Right, so like if you, then we've already got.
Yeah.
So-
Chesley Park is beautiful.
If you look through these, like this one of the creative recreation swing, this is a miracle, this is a creative recreations, this is a landscape structure.
We got
This is
that.
a compan, this is, little tykes, so this is not all one
Company,
company. And a company will not
right,
work side by side with another company. Like, you're not gonna be able to have,
3 elements from one and 3
Right.
elements from another.
right,
Yeah, I know. I
because
get it.
nobody wants to take the
We're
responsibility.
looking at one book.
One day.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, yeah, that's fair.
But we have to definitely, with the outpour that we got today of 25 people, we have to make sure we tap into that resource and they don't feel slighted and left out.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's why I'm saying it to you, to make sure.
But if
that-
we invite 2 people out of the 27 that were here, if we invite 2. I don't think we're including all of them.
No, you have to, you have to let.
Fair enough,
That's
don't
right.
have representatives.
And I think it's,
Yeah,
I
I go
think
with
it's
that.
okay if it's gonna be costing too much money, because they need to know that too, right?
But like, we just looked up this Jonathan's Place, which is very popular in here.
Yeah.
And they have a fundraising page. When we did Grizzled School, Grizzled School PTO kicked in $70,000 to be able to get what they want. So if the breaking point is 225, we should give them the ability to raise the extra $25,000 somehow to get what they
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
we're
a-
all gonna be retired by the time the playground's done in 20 years, so we need to think about that. Like, this is a 20-year investment.
Yep. And if you get this funding, when could you see this playground stuff going in? Like, when would you be doing the playground? Like.
My guess would be September of 2024.
Right.
I think is legitimate, like, we wouldn't,
So a year.
I would not take the playground down and out of commission for the summer. I'd let the kids use it. And then move it and then bring the paving in crew after.
Okay, yeah.
Kensington Garden Club and their group,
Yep.
and these pollinating alleys.
Kensington Garden Club has a great design, a great idea, and what they want to bring, I think is phenomenal. Just my only concern of all of us sitting on here is Debbie Dennis's field the complaints, Jenna's field the complaints, and Allie's field the complaints of bees.
Right.
Bees stink. Do we feel comfortable with a 5-year-old running out of mom's car into a pack of black-eyed Susans and getting stung by a bee and going for anaphylactic shock? We have to have some
It's gonna be the
parameters like.
first call that you get. You plant
Yes.
all them bushes in with the bees, that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You're gonna get complaint calls.
I mean,
That's what a pollinator pathway is.
Yeah.
that's what I'm right.
I mean, there's
Doesn't
plenty
belong
of areas
in
in
a
Berlin that they could put that in perhaps, just think Pistol Creek. On the other side or
like they
something,
said. Yeah.
there's plenty of places for that.
Backside of Bicentennial.
There's 2 bees that come out that do not stay. There's the first bees that come out of the year. And what they do is they go up and grab the insects and they take them to the hole. There was 50 of them on the left side of Little People's Playground. We got 6 phone calls in the matter of 30 minutes saying that, oh my God, my kid's gonna die because he's allergic.
It doesn't matter, parents.
That-
should
It's
be
pervade,
free.
it's a perception,
Yep.
may not be
The
reality.
next bee that comes out is called the cicada killer. It's about 4 inches long.
Yeah.
They do not stink. They're docile. They're not aggressive. You could step on them, you're still not gonna get stung. But it's the perception when somebody sees a bee that big. So as a commission, you guys are saying, yes, we're in favor of bringing flowers, bees and everything where a kid could possibly get stung.
No,
And
nobody understood that.
it's what, if that's what we do against the garden club wants to do, we need to vet that. We need to reach out to other communities who have done it. Fairfield just did it beautiful.
There's
Oh,
a
they're
legal
great.
one.
Steve, you're
We haven't taken a
concerned.
vote,
All your
but I
concerns.
think
I don't think it's a good
That's
idea
why I
to put
raised
in
the
a
question.
bush that attracts bees in the
Right.
playground.
Okay.
Right.
Right, maybe put
Listen,
somewhere else.
even at Sage, we had issues over there where kids on the field were getting stung by bees, right? You guys went over there and nailed it.
As a property manager, this year was one of the heaviest years for bees I've had. We were spraying all the time, everywhere. People call up, they see one bee, they call up, come on. You're gonna do it at a playground?
The entrance.
so.
The entrance, yeah.
Entrance.
They'll stay there forever.
Yeah, personally, I agree. I don't think a playground is a place for it. There might be another place within our
All
town
around
somewhere.
basketball courts.
Yeah, yeah, the high school.
The parking lot.
Come on.
In the parking lot. Only on the weekends. Then we would, yeah. But, yeah, I think you have, generally, the consensus is not at a playground.
That's right.
Okay.
I agree.
I don't mind. I know 2 of the people on the garden club. You know, I can just say in the pollinating alley or something, you know, we're not in favor of that, so. If you want me to say.
What do you think, Joe?
I can't stand any flying insects, period. And Steve, in my backyard, every August, I end up with about 80 nests of the cicada killer bees, and it freaks me out. I know that they're docile. It absolutely freaks me out.
Yeah.
My only suggestion was, as I think we do due diligence for them and we call a couple of the communities that have planted them near playgrounds and see the kind of feedback they got. He mentioned Glastonbury, so I think we should, at least I'll call a few places
Yep,
and get some
fine.
information and come back next month
Yeah,
with
okay.
something.
So
Communicating anything, yeah, fair enough.
I think Donna's suggestion, I don't know if you were just tossing it out, but the concept is a great idea, just not in an area where you're gonna have a lot of traffic, especially a lot of kids.
And that's it, that was just open space.
Right. I agree, Joe.
Okay. Great. Splash pad. The last time that Steve and I saw each other, council meeting. There may be some funds that may be available. To start a design area, to see if this area in the Demore complex is. Something to consider.
Right, so currently right now, my capital improvement is due tomorrow. I have a feasibility study in for an East Berlin. With the East Berlin pool area. That includes and encompasses the tennis courts, splash pad, pool upgrade. Bathroom upgrade to go out to see if that gets funded, to see what. The mayor's big push right now, and I agree with him, is we need to get concrete numbers. Something that's number that is actually got some substance to it, so that we're not overbidding or underbidding, so at least we know what we're going to get. So that's our next step, would be a feasibility study to see what is possible to do there. And I'm also gonna check with a couple communities to see how many parking spots they have at their places. Times I've gone to Cromwell, there hasn't been more than 5 or 6 parents at the splash pad. And we have 21 parking spots. So is 21 parking spots adequate for pickleball courts? For the splash pad? And maybe a little resting area or a playground near the pool house.
In that. Design that you're looking at or whatever, does it include a playground? You talked about pool upgrade. Are you? Putting in a pool upgrade?
Well, yes,
Playground,
we'd like to do it all encompassing.
Right, I just want to make sure the playground's included. Okay, so you're looking at that and now it's due tomorrow? Did you say?
Yep.
So you have the numbers?
of.
No, this is just the request for.
My request is
capital.
$30,000 for a
Oh,
feasibility
for the
study,
feasibility.
because it's over $25,000, when
Yeah,
it's over
okay.
$25,000,
So
it has to go to capital.
that has to go to.
Yep,
Capital.
that goes to the Board of Finance, the Board of Finance decides if they think that's a project they wanna fund.
After it goes through the capital.
And when are you going to council to talk about?
I don't.
You don't have capital.
It's capital.
Staff submits all the capital to the director of
This
finance.
is going into the whole list of capital.
Yep.
Yes,
Then it goes to the capital committee, and then whatever the capital committee recommends goes to the Board of Finance.
and then they decide what capital projects they're going to fund in the next budget year, which.
Okay, so
But
again,
with the-
politically, the only way to get that moved up in the whole list of things is to go to the council. Tell them. That's, we'd like to see that done, the design has to be done first, and then understand the numbers and go from there, so.
Are all those reviews open to the public? You know, the Board of Finance, Capital.
All the
Board of
board of
Finance,
finance,
You-
capital
you elect
committee
them.
capital committee is a staff-based committee. Before it goes to Board of Finance, those are just regular staff meetings, but once it gets to the Board of Finance, those are all public meetings.
Got it. Thank you.
But you also have to remember, there's $300,000 to upgrade to more Dinda pool in there as well,
Right,
because we have not decided what we're going to do with that.
Right.
So if we decide that we're going to open to more Dinda pool, is going to change our outlook on a splash pad, because you can't have a pool, a splash pad, pickleball courts, and think you're gonna have enough spots with 21. That becomes not feasible. So there's a lot of planning to go into like Amy said tonight, there's a lot of planning going into, like, where is our vision? Like, where do we wanna see this go? We were definitely in need of this kind of stuff, but there's a price tag that goes with it. We're not gonna spend $30,000 on a feasibility study for East Berlin pool area if we're gonna turn around an open pool.
Who does the feasibility studies?
I will hire a consultant to do that.
Is that out for outbidding or?
No, I'm probably going, we have a good relationship with somebody,
Okay.
who's done a lot of work for us, that I would like to tap into them and have them do it. So. One way or another, it needs to be done.
well, you're including in this design and uploading it too, you said,
The design would be,
the feasibility,
the feasibility would be to remove the pool,
close it down.
close it down, dig
Okay,
it out,
so when you said upgrade the pool, you're saying
right,
close it and you turn it into something.
so. Feasibility study would cover pickleball courts, splash pad, playground, the demolition of East Berlin pool, upgrade of the pool house.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's A.
Yeah.
B,
I think that's the right direction.
B would be spend $300,000 to reopen first of all, East Berlin pool, which would be the pool deck, the liner of the pool, the kiddie pool. That chunk is B for $300,000 for the more pool. More Dinda pool.
And even if it was decided to upgrade the pool, spend the $300,000. We don't know if we would get the staff.
Right.
The more current years are that we haven't gotten it. How do we think that's gonna change? You can't wait till February, to kind of
Right,
decide that,
right.
so,
What's your numbers?
yeah, and then you have the attendance going down. People want to agree or not, but
What we got?
I mean, I think you just stated it, Donna. The biggest challenge is going to be the staff, right? If you don't have the staff, you spend that kind of money, even if there are people that want to show up and use it.
Right.
Without the staff, the pool isn't open. And this past summer, state of Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, every state along the seaboard in New England was challenged with hiring lifeguards. I think Connecticut at one point, they were understaffed by like 40% at the state parks. So it's a big issue.
And given that we may at some point have an indoor pool, nothing's on the plate or anything like that, but you know, if he does the Y, I'm just saying, not the town, but maybe even the Y.
You'd be
With that
faced,
on the horizon,
you'd be faced with the same issue though, so why gonna give us the lifeguards to, you know, for the pools? So we have to be self-sufficient.
well, it'd be their lifeguards. I'm saying for the
Okay.
indoor pool, it's, you
Oh,
know,
yeah,
it's
but how
Y,
about
it's their lifeguards.
I'm just saying, how about per person? So.
Well,
So it seems like what we're saying is that it looks like. It makes more sense. From a long-term perspective. Do a feasibility study. To talk about a splash pad. And have it be something there for the kids in East Berlin. Can take advantage of, at least the younger kids, right? And a playground. Because we don't know what's gonna happen with the lifeguards. We don't know what's gonna happen with the pool long-term. It would seem to me. A better long-term solution. To probably go that route. I don't know when we make that decision. Because bottom line is, the finance committee is not gonna do both, right? They're gonna say, why are we doing a feasibility study when you guys wanna, you know, put $300,000 in the pool?
But we're months away from that decision.
Well, I understand, but I mean, it's something we're gonna have to deal with.
has the mayor or the town manager asked you to firm up the number to upgrade, to fix the Demorginda pool?
I sent them the quote that I got last year, which was 278,000.
Yeah.
Today, because of all our capital has to have a quoted price with it when it goes up there, so they know why you're asking for the money.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, okay.
See, just ratification, when you go forward, when does everybody meet? When does the capital committee meet? And what we're looking at from a timeline perspective, right? Because you're gonna have to answer those questions, my guess is, right?
Right, I'm serving on the capital committee and I believe that is like October 27th.
So.
That's not just one meeting, that's
Right.
numerous meetings with different departments.
Yeah, but
I probably won't report finance.
what I'm saying is, it's gonna be, the decision is gonna be. Something's gonna have to happen sooner versus later, right? With which way we might have to go.
Yep. But
So.
I'm not saying that Demorginda Pool is the right location. It's the only location that we could think of where we have a parcel of land to be able to put this in.
The splash pad.
We thought of, you know, possibly pulling into Sage Park to the left where the kickball is.
Yeah.
But how safe does a parent feel with their kid playing that close to the turnpike?
Yeah.
We cannot put it on any parcel of school grounds because the school grounds close during their operating hours. So like, I mean, my cry to the people tonight would be, help me find a location. Give me something.
How about-
Little People's is way too small.
How about Pistol Creek? Any place out there?
The problem with Pistol Creek is you have to have kids crossing a busy road.
Yeah.
to
You're
get
gonna
to-
cross 372.
I'm not trying to be the negative Nancy, but we have to think about that. We're
How
gonna-
about behind, where the building is?
Oh, well, that's where Debbie's.
Right, see up there.
How about by the pump
That would
station?
impact.
That's where she has her, we paint a giant field for that during the summer.
But I think a couple of the parents made comments about they don't want their kids crossing 372. So as soon as you put it in Pistol Creek, I think you're gonna have to cross 372.
They'll lose a lot of weight riding their bikes off Ledge Road. But I mean, as you guys are driving around or as Don's on a bike ride, just look at locations and come up with something and throw it back at
That was
us.
the only place, by the pump station, I thought that might be a viable alternative, but.
And you have parking.
I mean,
I've
yeah,
driven
it's,
around.
it would be nice to have it somewhere where people can see it too. I mean, that's so hidden down there. It could turn into more of an issue than. Most splash
You mean
pads that you
near
see are
the-
visible.
Yeah.
No, down by that field. I mean, when you're at the clubhouse, you don't know people are down at that field.
Right.
Kind of out of the way. I mean, I think it's a little too, my opinion, it's a little too secluded to put something down there.
But this is secluded, Demorginda, you gotta drive up, you know, it's behind the school, I mean, that's gonna be secluded. At least at Pistol Creek, again, if it's flat enough and, you know, by the pump station, if there's a way. people park at the clubhouse and they walk right down the sidewalk and go to the splash pad.
I'll be the negative Nancy,
Yeah,
hop on the
yeah,
train.
please, yeah.
I had twins.
Yeah.
They were 2 to 7 years old, trying to take them to a splash pad that was a 400-foot walk, was a challenge. You have young grandkids now, it's,
Yeah.
you wanna be able to park, walk 25 feet, be able to do your activities. I mean, a lot of people have made the comments of, well, what am I gonna do? Change my kid in a porta potty? We're gonna have to have
Right,
some
we're
type
gonna
of
have to-
changing facility
bathroom.
or some type of bathroom.
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
we already priced that out for stage 1, and that was $500,000. To have something dropped off.
Yeah.
So. That's where when we think of the feasibility study, or we think of where we're gonna put this, we have to take every single piece of this puzzle and make sure it harmoniously goes together.
To Steve's point, when I went around to different towns, I spoke to moms or grandparents that were there with kids. What do you like about, what do you don't like about? What do you absolutely need to have? Bathrooms was the number one thing.
Yep.
You need a indoor bathroom. I said, how about a porta potty? I gotta change a diaper. I need a little bigger area, so, but yeah, very key, so. So from your perspective, are you looking for the commission at tonight? Or at our next meeting? To come up with our recommendation to the council on the door in the pool? Is this the right time to do that? And I say that because. Let's just say it's yes. Now we got a big PR job to do to try and sell that along with a splash pad. And chances are, we ain't gonna get it.
It's a little easier if the things in Berlin,
Right,
you know.
yeah, right.
I think the decision with more in the pool has to come from you guys.
Yeah. What's the timing? Now?
No, I mean, I think we can still wait until March. To see if Debbie has the staff, if that's the way you guys want to do it.
And I would hopefully know before then. I mean, I reach out in December. I could try to reach out earlier. I mean, I'm not gonna get a lot of the kids to respond because they're gonna be in finals and
Right.
stuff, but I mean, I could start that and start the process. I mean, we just don't get the applications in, but I'm not saying that. Not willing to do that. We could do that. We would definitely need a
And then at
couple more
some point,
supervisors. to feel
yeah, at
comfortable.
some point, the pool needs to be upgraded, which means you close it down for another year. Right? So let's just say we get the staff for this upcoming year. We're gonna have to close it the next year because we gotta upgrade it. We can't, at some point, it will become unsafe.
How many thousands gallons a day you losing?
I think it's 10,000.
You're pumping out.
Yeah, but. I hate to keep talking, but we also have to look at. Everything else that's not being. At the same time.
Right.
So yes,
Yeah.
we
right,
have
could be more.
pickleball courts, we wanna put at East Borough, we have splash pad, we wanna put East Borough, we have. A playground, we wanna put East Borough, we want to demolish and take out the more into pool, then we wanna be able to utilize the bathhouse, so now people and kids can go to the bathroom. And parents can go in there and change their kids, that's gonna need an upgrade, so we're somewhere north, I'm gonna say $5 million. Number out of the sky, then at the same time, we have. Community playground, which now will be 25, 26 years old, we have. Friendship Place, which is starting to fall apart, which is gonna be 27 years old, then we have Willard Playground that is now 35 years old. We have a large. We have a lot of stuff that needs to be. Repaired, fixed, and done.
Yeah.
And we have to somewhat, I guess it's my job to prioritize where we wanna go next, but we all kind of have to have the same vision.
Yeah, no, we agree, we agree.
You know, I mean, we're looking at, every. Willard School's parking lot, McGee's parking lot, Denny's parking lot, Pistol Creek's parking lot, Pistol Creek's walking trails. Those are all part of our capital projects.
Safe parking lot.
Safe parking lot. So we have $2 million worth of, so we're in the need of a lot of money. For a lot of projects that need to be done, and some of them are safety actions.
So the capital list incorporates all this out, because you're going out 10 years, right? Can you send us what you're providing to the staff tomorrow, or your list?
After it's
So that
submitted
we
and
see-
after, I can give it to you guys after it's been through. So we know where that is. Cause my tenure won't have, my tenure will only have what I've changed and what's this year. It's not migrated into the Excel sheet yet. if that makes sense.
It's not migrating, but it's your list though.
I have, so I have to fill out a form,
Yeah.
and my form is what is in for capital, so like I had a mini excavator in. It for 2025, I moved the mini excavator from 2025 to 2026. That is not in. the
It's
10-year
not a
plan.
comprehensive list.
Right,
Okay, so when will you have your comprehensive?
once it goes back to the board of, once it goes back to the capital committee and they put everything into a comprehensive list, then I can cut. and
So
paste
it's not
40.
on an Excel?
Right. And once I, then I can
You
cut
have all these
45 and
individual
61 and
sheets?
send them both.
Okay. All right, so once we get to that point, sometime maybe for the next November meeting.
I would imagine.
You might-
December, January, and do this.
Oh, not after October 27th when they meet. Just to get an Excel
That's just
list.
when they start. the
Can we get an Excel list?
As soon as I have the Excel list, I will share it with you. I will cut out what's behind it.
Everything that's due tomorrow from all the departments has to get put into one Excel list.
Yeah. Okay.
That's not on when he can do it, that's on when the meeting.
Okay,
And just so you guys are aware, all of those capital projects are under Steve's budget, which is under public works. Yes, so,
And 61.
yeah, and 61, which is part of that.
I don't have a park
school.
recreation capital.
right. Right.
Just don't have it. Yeah, stuff like this.
Okay. I'm not gonna ask for a vote tonight, but I am gonna ask that the commission. Reflect on the Demore pool, and that at the next meeting. We provide. Input as to what we'd like to see the priorities be. And I'll say a vision of a splash pad, playground, maybe pool if you think that's the way to go, or not pool or whatever. Okay,
Steve, I have a question. What about the Grove? This, I don't know how much about that, huh?
No parking.
The Grove
There's
in
no
East
parking.
Berlin, where I don't know what it's got there. I know it's got the basketball courts. I know it's got a swing and stuff like, I don't know how much parking it really has. Would that be doable? I know it takes, you don't have a bathroom. But
A lot of trees.
You just,
down on the trees.
negative side of me, you want, your kids are going to be getting out into oncoming traffic. Main Street by the post office is where a lot of tractor trailer trucks, a lot of people driving fast. You could possibly have somebody open the door, all of a sudden now that door is getting ripped off. There is no parking lot to safely, securely park a car.
So it's a big area. Could we make one? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I drive by and I kind of look at it like.
How many cars do you want to put there? Look at the size of. The more
you're
than
gonna
the
find
first
that
parking
out
lot.
when you look at the feasibility, it's gonna tell you how many cars, whether or not
Yes.
21's gonna be enough.
The feasibility study will, I don't think, if I'm sitting on the finance committee and I have two things, and they're gonna say, what's it gonna be? You're gonna fix a pool, or you want a feasibility study, right?
No, we want a
No,
feasibility
what-
study anyway, because the splash pad
Well, do you think?
in the parking lot, like how are we gonna put all this in?
Right, but the feasibility study basically says we're gonna do away with this.
In my,
That feasibility study, because he already has the cost for upgrading the pool. So now, yes, firm it up to close the pool, put splash pad in, fix the pickleball tennis courts. Is the parking sufficient? And that's gonna be the answer, whether.
Right, I have a directive from you guys, of what you'd like to see done. I have a directive from the mayor to price out and figure out what it's gonna cost me for a splash pad.
Yeah.
So I have two directives from two different people that I need to make sure that I'm doing and getting everybody what they need.
The writing's on
I
the wall.
forgot, whatever Jen tells me.
There's 900 people went to that pool 2 years ago.
right,
That's it.
you know,
We're talking about 900
That-
visits.
Right,
right.
Well, you can't go by statistics.
Oh, come on now.
no, it is 900.
Excuse me.
Some days were 0, some days were 19,
I
it's
don't
19
have
on
anything else to
average.
go on.
Right,
We're not.
right,
comment
so,
that was
yeah.
made,
so
it's half of the
In my
people.
50 years, I've
I was just-
never been
the
to
date expired.
in the pool. Except that one pool.
Debbie Tubbs.
It's like you were in
Debbie
service.
Tubbs drive through.
Hey, listen for it.
Okay,
Month,
all right, thank you.
We done?
State of Connecticut grant,
If you haven't had a chance to go to Piscataway and check it out, it looks pretty awesome. The contract colors every 10 yards. kind of blows Scalise out of the park in my eyes. I think it looks so much sharper there, it's much more vibrant. And the B is not as enormous, it falls within 40-yard lines, which is what I had asked for. It's moving along, just please, if you hear people say, oh, we can get on it.
No.
Just because the turf is down does not mean the project is complete, and that's what we've stressed to everybody. So as you continue to see the turf being completed, which will be completed, in a couple weeks, don't all of a sudden think that the field's gonna be open for play, because there's other things that go on.
The gates are
Around.
locked on Madison, so.
Yeah.
Just-
So, and Percival is on schedule and looking awesome.
Good. A lot of rocks.
A lot of soil, a lot of rocks, a lot of wet soil they've been dealing with, so. But it's moving along.
Okay, thanks.
what is the ETA for use?
Which one?
For Percival,
No. For, that's high school.
Biscaglia probably mid-November.
Midnight.
Are you behind because of the weather?
Biscaglia was Biscaglia got a little behind because of the weather and because of supply issues. Percival's on schedule, we should be able to use that in the spring.
So since you love it so much, you put lights there too?
We are putting temporary lights. Yep, where they're doing they already poured one of the concrete pads, so you'll see those two on the sides.
Ooh.
A lot of schools.
That was one of the
temporary
alternates
lights
we
now.
decided.
I know, the lights are so efficient.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll never be able to host a night game there, but we think it'll give us, I'm confident it'll give us adequate lighting for practicing. It's not gonna be ideal, it's not, nobody's gonna be like, oh my god, it's.
But
You're not
Northwest
gonna force the
Catholic used to
IAC
do
game
that with the portable lights and they used to have, what's nice.
So did Avon, but they had like 8 or 10 on each side, and they were so close
Yeah.
together.
Right.
If you haven't seen the light towers that are gonna be there, they're now lighting stage front for youth
Oh,
football.
yeah.
And I mean,
Oh, they're beautiful.
they're
Yeah,
bright.
they're great.
Yeah, I was over there. And you only have two sides.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, are we good?
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn.
Thought nobody would ever say it.
Second.
Any discussion or just let's adjourn? Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Everybody have a nice evening.
Keep rocking, Joe, keep rocking.
Oh, no, I don't care. I had a pen.